शिवाय शिव जी सदा सहाय ओम नमः शिवाय गुरु जी सदा सहाय.
Guruji used to say, Namaskar, Aunty. So, Namaskar to all the Sangat. I would like to share my very beautiful and precious memories with you all of our connection with Guruji. We met him in 1990 when we went to Jalandhar. We were posted to Jalandhar, and we met him through a Muslim couple, Brigadier and Mrs. Rangwala, whom Guruji had cured her father of prostate cancer. She would force me to go and meet Guruji, and I said, no, I'm just not interested. Then she would tell me, he could tell you your past, your present, your future, so you must come. So between her and me, we wrote out 10 questions to ask Guruji and went there. Then Guruji asked us, Seva Das. And I said no to Sava Gyara because I knew no Punjabi at all at that time. Anyways, we read out the 10 questions and he said whore, then the next whore, and till the 10 were over. Then he said, you're very selfish. You're just asking me to bless you with promotion, with health, with all the good things in life. But you have to ask for peace of mind. With peace of mind, you get everything. Then he would say, Aate rehna. So when I'd go to the mandir, he'll say, Aunty, chalo kaddi chawal banao or Guruji ko bulao. And I would never know how to cook curry or to look after a Guruji, so I would just smile and look away. And then he would go on saying, curry chawal banao. And the ladies would say, you're so lucky because we are dying for him to come to our home, but he never asks us whether he can come. So when my husband's Babi and brother and all that visited us from outstation, she said, come on, I'll do the cooking, you do the cleaning, and let's call Guruji. Now when he came with so many people in different cars, and when we went to the kitchen, she had cooked such a little langar. It would never have been sufficient for everyone there. So I went to all the ladies and said, please don't eat langar, let Guruji have and the gents. They finished, then I said, now you can feed the children. And when they finished, I said, now the ladies can have it, and then even our Fauji Sevadars they had. That was the first miracle I saw of Guruji's, where the food was multiplying. And that really inspired me. I said, Guruji is something more than meets the eye. Now the curry chawal changed to soup. When I'd go to the mandir, he'd say, chalo auntie, ghar jao, mera soup banao, because he loved soup. And he would tell me, aaj badam soup banao. The next day he'd say corn soup, barley soup, mixed vegetable, and he would say, khoob CC wala banao. It means namak and mirch dalo, so that you say see while you're drinking it. And he'd hold the bowl right up to his mouth and put his head back, and till the last drop was taken. He loved soup. One day he came to our home, and my son and I were running, Guruji, do you want soup? Do you want chai? Do you want soup? We were trying to look after him. Like, if him coming to our home is a very big thing. So he says, Tum dono ma beta, you are blind. I'm showing you the asli roop of Lord Shiva, and tum dono soup chai bol rahe hai. So that was the day we missed seeing Lord Shiva. Now another thing is, our family had come from outstation, so they wanted to visit Vaishno Devi. So we made a big program that we would all go as a family. So I mentioned to Guruji, I said, tomorrow we are going. He said, where? I said, to Vaishno Devi. He said, bilkul nahi jana. I said, why? He said, because जब लॉर्ड शिवा तुम्हारे सामने बैठा है तो उत्ते जाने का क्या जरूरत है, वो सारे मेरे कुड़ी है. Lord Shiva is here. There's no need to go. But I was disobedient and we all went early in the morning. When I came back, he was so angry with me and I felt very unwell. I couldn't breathe. So he sent my son to get 20 rupiya ka pan ka patta. He put it on me, and after I got better, he said, you go there, go and ask them to cure you. Why do you walk all the way, all night you're walking, and you come here and tell me to cure you and give you relief? And he was so angry with me. I saw the wrath of Lord Shiva because he would ignore me, he won't talk to me, he knew that I had disobeyed him. And then finally, I kept saying, I'm sorry, Guruji, so sorry. And then he forgave me. But after that, I don't go anywhere. It's just to Guruji's mandir. It's just to Guruji satsangs. And I don't wish to go anywhere but to Guruji. Then it was a Christmas. And me being a Christian girl, we normally go to church. But I went to Guruji. And I took a big bouquet of flowers with my husband and kids. And he said, Aunty, tum church gayi nahi aaj? I said, no. He said, uncle nahi leke gaya. I said, no, Guruji, because you are my church now. I just believe in you and you are my church. He called out so many couples from the mandir. He said, gaadi mein baitho, aur mere piche magre aana, he would say. And his car went to the most beautiful church in the Jalandhar camp. And Guruji walked in, he sat right in the front and all the Sangat sat behind him. Now that was Guruji. He might be all powerful and he's Lord Shiva, but he didn't mind going to a church even. So we were really so impressed with that. I have seen Guruji giving out so many divine prasads, so many. From nowhere they would come out. But the ones which I really remember fondly are the sari which he took out of nowhere and gave me. That sari has the same fragrance of Guruji, the roses fragrance, which has never left it. All my other saris have perfumes which vanish, but Guruji's fragrance of roses is still on that sari. And he said, Suchi jaga mein rakho aur kisi ko mat batao. The next was my son. He suddenly put his hand out and asli ghee was pouring from his palm, for which my son could collect it. He gave my daughter Mishri. A small Mishri kept growing bigger, and again it had the fragrance of Guruji. I'd even see him giving a shower of, at the 31st night we had collected in someone's home. And suddenly Guruji walked up to a gentleman and put his hands over his head, and all the rose petals kept showering from his palm onto his head. And his family collected it in a small basket. Then he walked up to a lady, put his hands over her head, and the rose petals again showered down. The lady was Sarita Matkan and the gent was Dr. Chehal. That was so beautiful. Then another important thing which I remember, which is so dear to my heart, is when I'd go to the mandir, Guruji, first he would say, tum sir Thursday or Sunday ko aana, these are your days. So we would count the days when Thursday and Sunday would come, because Guruji was like a magnet. He wanted to run back and run back. And then he said, chalo, jada marzi aana hai, aa jao Aunty. So we could go any day, stay any time in Jalandhar. It was so beautiful. Not like Delhi where it is all crowded and you don't get a chance. So then he would tell me, Aunty, Uncle Artum, you're going to give a donation for the Bade Mandir which is going to be built, and this is the amount you all will bring and give it to me. I would go home and my husband, we were from the armed forces. So he would say, now we don't have surplus money like that to give. And husband and wife would get into a bit of an argument. And then the next time we went to Guruji, he would say, Aunty, paisa laya? And I would feel so ashamed and I would say, no, Guruji. He would say, kal leke aana, theek hai? Then I would tell my husband, either we stop going to Guruji, we better leave. And because it's very embarrassing when he asks and we are not able to fulfill it, you please break some fixed deposits or something, whatever you have, and let's give it. So he did that. And when we went, he said, Aunty, laya paisa? I said, yes. So he said, chalo dono andar, mere piche aao. He took us to his bedroom. And when I took it out from my handbag to give it to him, he just folded his hands and put it to his head like a namaskar. And he said, tum dono na pass ho gaya, Shraddha mein pass ho gaya. I was testing you both. I was squeezing you like a nimbu to see whether you will run away or stay. But you have brought it and I'm so happy with you both. You have passed my test. Go to Hyderabad with this money and buy a small plot of land, which we did. So those are the ways of Guruji. He tests us all the time, unknowingly. We don't know when he's testing us, but we should be on our guard. Now, I had a terrible knee problem in Jalandhar. I used to sit up at night in pain, and no medicine was helping me, and it was terrible. So one night I was crying all night, and then I dozed off to sleep wee hours of the morning when Guruji came home. And he said, "Aunty kidhar hai?" They said, "She's sleeping." She was awake all night. He told my husband, "Kitchen se ek chamcha lao." He used to look in the spoon and say a little mantra, shaking his head. It sounded like Om Namo. I don't know what it was, but he used to say a little mantra, and he put it on my knee, and then he said, "Utho abhi, ash karo," and hit me, thumped me on the back and said, "Jao, ash karo, enjoy karo, aur jao chai banao." So then he would ask me after a few days, "Kaise hai?" He used to call it "Chi gude," your creaking knees. "Kaisa hai? Theek ho gaya?" And I'd say, "No, Guruji, thoda sa darad hota hai still." Then he'd ask again, and I'd say, "Darad hai." So he would say, "Dekho, mujhe 10% rakhna hai, nahi to tum bhag jayegi." So and then I was okay. I could walk, climb, run, everything. He really cured me. But now it seems to have come back a wee bit, and I say it's okay. Guruji said 10% rakhna hai, so I have to manage with that. Guruji used to cure with palm leaves too. So when my husband met Guruji for the first time, he just said, "Chalo uncle, patient room mein," and told my son, "20 rupiya ka pan ka patta lao." So he made him lie down, and when the leaves came, he prays through the palm leaves. He just, sort of swish them up and keep praying through it, again with his head shaking and some mantra which we can't follow. Very softly he'd whisper it, and he placed it on his navel, and he went out to meet Sangat. When he came back, he said, "Uncle, kaise lag raha hai?" He said, "Guruji, itna aag nikal raha hai, itna aag nikal raha hai, I cannot tell you. Aise lag raha hai that there's a fire coming out of my stomach." "Kyun, Guruji?" He said, "Agar main tumko batao, uncle, tum sun nahi paega. Itna bura bimari hai, I cannot tell you." Anyways, he said 20 saal ka extension of life diya. So we had a very good life after that for 20 years. No health issues, nothing. Life was just so wonderful. And now Guruji taught me how to make tea in the Jalandhar Mandir. He said, "Pani chadao." Then he told me, "Ye choti ilaichi piece ke dalo usme." Then he said, "Choti ilaichi koot ke dalo, abhi long koot ke dalo. When the water bubbles, put the chai ka patti. Now chini rok ke dalo, doodh thok ke dalo," which meant he liked milky tea. "Then let the tea rise to the top of the pan and then lower it. Then again let the tea rise to the top 3 times, up, down, like this. Then he would strain it into one vessel, and he'd have 2 vessels, and he'd keep raising his hand high so that till the froth comes on the tea, on the top of the tea. So when you pour it in the glass, you'd have that whole jug at the top of the glass. So that's how Guruji loved his tea. So I learnt it, and he would say, "Aunty, ja mera chai banao." Now, when we went to Jalandhar from Delhi, we stayed at my friend Preeti Sondhi's house, and it was a dining table for 12 people, and we were 12 of us. So her mother-in-law said, "You've had breakfast, now who would like to have tea?" So everyone said, "No, we'll have it in the mandir." Because we could go in the morning to the mandir and stay till night. Then he said, everyone said no. So her son said, no one makes good tea in the mandir. Let's have it here. So we said, "Why? Guruji's chai prasad is so good." He says, "Only Nirmal aunty can make it well." So I said, "Oh, maybe. I have never made tea for Sangat." They said, "But you're in the kitchen all the time." I said, "Because I make for Guruji. I only make Guruji's chai, and I have never made chai for the Sangat." So they all said, "Oh, Anita aunty is showing off." So when we went to the mandir, then Guruji said, "Anita aunty." I said, "Hanji Guruji." He said, "Chai bana." I said, "Aapke liye?" He said, "Or So I made his tea. But every time I wanted to sit, he would say, Utho, chai bana, sangat ke liye. Utho, chai bana, sangat ke liye. And all these people would come to the kitchen smiling, clapping hands, you're making for sangat the whole day. So the moral of the story was, don't show off. Guruji knew it. He said she never makes tea for sangat, but today I will make her make tea. The whole day I was put on chai duty. So the thing is, never feel that you are too big, Then one more thing Guruji used to tell me always, Aunty, detach karo, detach. Detach, you are too much with your husband and children and your materialistic things. You have to detach. And I would say, how can I ever detach from my husband and children? That's not, on. So, like Guruji could see the future. He knew what's coming. He would come to my house and I was very house proud. So we had a fish aquarium. He would tell our Fauji Sevadar, his name was Mansingh, isko mandir leke aao, kal, the aquarium. Then the next time he came, the chandelier lamp, isko mandir leke aana. Then a beautiful new bed cover. Then all my potted plants, which were the best, everything which I loved, which I liked, Guruji was taking it away from my home. He was detaching me from everything which I could not understand at that point of time. And it's only later on that things fell into place and I knew what he's doing. Because Guruji could see my husband is going to pass away. After 20 years of being with Guruji, he passed away. I had to move into a small place which Guruji chose for me. He would say, Jao dekho. He wanted me to live there. It is Guruji's building in Satpuri and all the followers are Guruji followers. So he wanted me to live there. My daughter got married and left. My son moved to Canada. So that was supposed to be my place to live in. So Guruji was detaching me from everything so that I could face the life and the reality which was coming my way. He just removed from my place everything that I loved. And he wanted me to live a simple life void of all the frills. He would tell me, Aunty, make your passport. I would say, no need, Guruji. I'm not interested in going abroad. I'm happy living in India. I don't want to go. He would say, bana le. Shall I get it made for you? I would say, no. Then we got it made. And why Guruji was telling us that our daughter is going to be working in Hong Kong, in Cathay Pacific as a flight attendant. And due to her, we travel so much. All over we travel. So Guruji knew what's coming and he was trying to tell us so. He would go into our kitchen and tell my sevadar, chalo aaj matar aloo banayenge. No ladies in the kitchen, jao. Abhi isko piso. And Guruji made that matar aloo which was so tasty and he would say, Aunty, sirf ek hi cheez banao. Itna sara cheez banana nahi. Ek cheez, roti, that's it. Then we've seen Guruji also when just one day, after Langar, he had to go back to the mandir and it was in the night and then he told Mansingh apna cycle leke aao. And he cycled in the Kant, you have big gardens, big areas. Guruji was cycling away. I think he wanted to feel like anyone else and wanted to get that feeling of being, a common man compared to the Mahapurush that he was. Then he would tell my son, scooter nikalo, and he'd sit on the scooter and go. He'd drive him back to the mandir with his chola flying, and he would say, Hole chalo Ricky, hole chalo, whatever. I have so many satsangs, but I think that's about it for today. And I thank Guruji again and again and again, as a life without him would not be possible. He is my God, my Guru, my very best friend. He has seen me cry, he has seen me laugh. And we love you, Guruji. We miss you, we love you. And thank you for coming into our lives. Jai Guruji.